Zoe, hi YouTube friends. Right, this isn't a journal update. Don't worry, the journal will be coming back. I just had a little break from it because it's school holidays, it's really busy. Trying to keep on top of it is a little hard work. I've managed to get the pictures in, which is great, and but I haven't done any writing in it and I haven't decorated it. I'm going to save that for when Loki goes back to school, so don't worry, they haven't disappeared forever. But in the meantime, can you guess what I've been up to? Yes, there is a colouring book in front of you. So in between day trips with Loki, I've been doing a spot of colouring and got back into that, which I'm so grateful for, because I thought, oh, I've got a lot of colouring books and pens, and I hope one day that I'm back into it. Although my journal does take up a lot of time, as you know. Sorry, I've got really echoey ear. I know you obviously can't hear that, but I sound like I'm talking in the swimming pool to myself. Anyway, I will soldier through. So, the reason we have a Colour Haven Halloween special in front is I'm going to give you a little show and tell of the colourings I've been up to. Now, some of these I did last year, because obviously this is an old magazine now, and so the colourings aren't as good as some of the ones I've done this year, because I've improved, as you do if you colour more. So, but we'll have a little look through. So I'll show you the two that I did last year so you can see how I've come along. Let's try and lift you up a bit so we get all in the shot. Hold on. Oh. Oops, sorry. Didn't make anybody sick. Come back a bit. Oh, there's always adjusting in this, isn't there? Right, I'll lean on the box, see if that works. Right, so I did this one. This is by Jasmine Beckett Griffiths. This is like the Halloween special. So I enjoyed doing this. It was with Pro Markers and what are they called? Oh, Sharpies and a bit glitter pen. But yeah, so there's that one. And the other one I did last year was this one, Halloween Cupcakes. And I'm sorry you're not all in focus, I'll move it about. Yeah, so these two. I always use the Pro Markers and the Sharpies. I find they're wonderful because Pro Markers, I like it that they don't leave streaky bits, and if they do, they tend to look like they're more like shadowy or watercolory rather than, even though they're an alcohol marker, than if you're using, like, I don't get this phase with everybody saying about the Crayola Super Tips, and I just do not get on with them. I find them streaky, and I hate streaky colourings with like all the little lines and everything in it. I don't like that at all. I've got 2 sets of those pens, but yeah, no, don't like those. And then I do the dark parts and the shading with the Sharpies. So yeah, that's how that's done. Right, these, right, I think you will see, well, I hope you'll see that there's a definite improvement in this year. So this is the first one I completed this year. Yeah. Firstly, I think this one's better. I added the braids in myself, so I drew those in because a lot of Jasmine Beckett Griffiths' hair is just lined, so I thought we'd put some lovely braids in her hair. And then, yep, coloured all this one. There is a little bit of, I used some of these chameleon pens as well. So these, I've got 2 sets, so I have 10 altogether. And I'll show you pens in a minute because I treated myself to something, which I'll show you in a minute. But these chameleon pens are lovely for doing big backgrounds because they don't leave the lines. They just go on so beautifully. I mean, you've got to have a little bit of skill about it, like not sort of like colour in sweeping motion. Otherwise you will end up with liney bits. But as long as you do a fluid motion all the way across, you don't get streaky bits, which is great, because I'm allergic to the streaky bits apparently. So yeah, so this was this one, and another one from this year And this one here, this lovely beauty here, Skulls and Stars. So yeah, I did her in quite plain. So this I bought last year at Halloween, surprise surprise. And then recently I've bought this one, which you may, oh well, I think everybody's gone out and bought this one, haven't they? Such a good price though. So £4.99, and you get selection from Jasmine Beckett Griffiths' books. There's some from her New Mermaids one, there's some from the original Jasmine book, and some from Halloween. So it is very good for £4.99, and that's out there at the moment if you're watching this like recently, now, August. If you're watching this in October, no chance. And yeah, gives you a good range. So the ones I've coloured in here, I'm really happy with the first one. It's come out really nice. So was this one here, which is Crown of Air and Water. And I love her. Now, I was very intimidated when I saw the book, because I'll show you sort of like the pictures. I mean, there's flip-throughs of this one on YouTube, so I'm not doing a full flip, but just to give you an idea of what there is. I was very intimidated by the whole book, really. But I sat down and I thought, we're just going to take one item at a time. So I did the butterfly first of all, then I did the moth, and so on and so forth. And then I've put my own details into it as well. I love how her eyes come out. I've been watching a few YouTubes, other colourists, and seeing how they've been doing their eyes. And yeah, I was really happy with how her eyes turned out on there, and a little mermaid bra. And then I just did the background in, and I was happy with that. It's very rare that I can say I'm happy with a whole picture. On the ones that I showed you before from last year, I'm not happy with the skin. And I think the skin's coming along for me now and getting the shading in, and I think it looks a bit better. But you can let me know below what you think, or don't if it's horrible. And then I did this one. And I've taken out some of the background. I don't like doing a lot of background, so I put my own background in. So I just coloured out. There was more trees and things, and I can't be doing loads of trees. I like the focal point, which is the people and the animals, not backgrounds. I'm not a big background person, so I have taken that out. The pond went a little bizarre, but it's okay. I'm going with it. It's fine. But yeah, I think that one's okay. And I did the typical Jasmine Beckett Griffiths shade down to the nose, if you can see. I thought I'd give it a go. Been a little scared to do that, because it doesn't feel right to shade half the face. I know I'm okay with lights and darks and where things go. I make it up as I go along, really. The light comes from all angles when I'm doing a picture. This is why I don't like grayscale as well, because I like to put the light and the dark in. I don't want people to tell me where the dark is, so I do not get on with grayscale at all, because my light and dark, yep, I'm going to throw it in from every angle. But yeah, it works for me. So I did those, and then the third one I've done it in this book. I found that I do 2 colourings, and then the third one I don't like as much, so then I need to swap colouring books. Was this one. I'm very happy with her hair. I'm not sure on the cats. The cats, I like this cat, but the other cats not so much. But I don't think I'm going to be a cat colourist. They just don't work for me. But yeah, I liked her. There's no tones in her dress because I used the gold Staedtler metallic pen, so you can't really shade with that. So I think it works all right. That cat's fine. Like her hair, background okay. But yeah, it's time to swap colouring books when I feel a bit like that. So anyway, it's all right. It's okay. And that one's Autumn Kitties. So I did those. And then, I've been buying colouring books, even though I've got a lot of colouring books in my cupboard. Not as many as some people, I may add, because my goodness, I have been watching to get inspiration of what colouring books I'd like to buy. And my goodness, there are some people with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of colouring books. So, yeah, no, scary. But I have got some, and at some point I'll do it up to date, because I know there is one on here of my colouring books, but it's yonks. You'd have to scroll for 2 years back. So I might do, if you fancy it, if anybody's watching, because hi Annie from my Fauxbonichi people, if you're watching, because I usually do colouring, I do Fauxbonichi. Yeah, if anyone's interested, let me know. I could do a full show of all my colouring books. Right, so the ones I've done in here, should we go in order? Why not? Let me just find them a set. So the first one I did out of this is Chibi Girls Horror, and I love it. I just think this is just really, really fun little book. So cheap as well, $4.99 on Amazon. And if you have Amazon Prime, that's free delivery as well. So, you know, well worth it. And I've put my own things in here. I drew the cobwebs in. And I wrote in the book. And I've done the threads on the carpet. And that pillow I put some flowers on. And, you know, I've tried to make it my own. I like to draw bits in if I feel that they need it. So this is the first one I did. Now, with all Jade Summers books, you get... I don't know how many images you get. A lot of images. I could be 30, 40, I'm not going to count them, but there's loads. And then you get a copy of them, so they show all of them and then all of them again. Now, when I first got the book, the paper is, yeah, I wasn't sure, because it seemed to be eating the pro markers. I could colour with it. It wasn't like bleeding out or anything. And I know with pro markers and Sharpies, I am completely used to them bleeding outwards. I know how to colour with them, not a problem. But it seemed to be eating the pro marker, like sucking up and making it dry. And I was like, oh no, I won't be able to colour with pro markers. And really, that's my life. I can't not colour with pro markers. And I was quite sad, first of all, but I thought, well, let's just carry on with it. And I actually figured out that it was sucking up my pro markers that were old ones, like 2 years old, and they were getting to the end of their life, and they just, because this is a bit of a thirsty paper, it was eating them up. But my newer pro markers seemed to be working fine, and it wasn't, you know, eating them. So I carried on through, and it seems to be fine now, so no, I'm okay with the paper. And also, because it is a thirsty paper, sorry if it's got a special name, I know people have been calling, what's it, safe space, something space, white space, I don't know, I don't think it applies to me, because I don't colour with pencils, because I can colour with pencils. I find it really time consuming, and I've got a little bit of carpal tunnel, so I'm thinking it hurts to do pencils, so I don't. Pens are my friends. So yeah, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, thirsty paper. Because it's thirsty paper, you can throw a lot of ink at it, so you can layer and layer and layer and layer and layer, and it doesn't. Well, it doesn't tear the paper, it doesn't do anything with the paper. It's like proper good. And as you see on the other side, they've got this black bit, so that it doesn't look horrible when it bleeds through. But if you have a look, it does sort of bleed through. You still get the whole image. But good old pro markers, they bleed through anything. But yeah, it looks quite nicer with the black one. But yeah, so I did this one first, and then the second one I did was this one. I think she's pretty lovely. Been using a little bit of white pencil just to bring out the highlights and things and make it glow off a bit. That's always good. I know a lot of people, they use their pens and they use their pencils over the top of it. I ain't got the patience. Pens, little bit of white, little bit of black. Can cope with that. The next one I did was this one. Oh, I'm lying. Anyway, you can see that. It wasn't. This isn't the next one. I'll show you the next one. So yeah, I did this. I really like how this come out, and I've left it white, but I did put some of the cream effect in there, just because obviously she's seen a big piranha, you know, just get white through the front of her hair because it's really scary. I mean, that happened to me when I gave birth to my son. Next day looked in the mirror, I had white across the front. Very traumatic. So yeah, I thought that's just as traumatic, I'm sure. Then I did this lovely witch. Well, I did that before that one actually, but never mind. Hey ho. I did make a bit of a mistake. I'm loving watching all these YouTube colorist girls. I think Zoe Archer and Colour My Life and all this, they're all very new to me, so I've been watching a few of them. I love how they say all their mistakes, it's really good. My mistake was I went to put some lightning behind her. I thought, oh, that'd be good. Oh, no. It went horribly wrong. So then I coloured it black, got the black Sharpie out, and I just put a billion stars to cover it. But I think it looks alright, so, you know, you can always alter a mistake. Look how mean this is. She's putting the frog in the fire. How cruel is that? And then lastly, I did, just recently, I did this lovely girl with the pumpkin. Now, I know that with these pictures, you could make them, well, they're horror, aren't they? You could make them quite horrific if you really wanted to. But I went for, really like the idea of a country kitchen. Put some bit of gingham in, you know, little tiles, blue and white tiles, yep. Love a bit of gingham, don't you? And yeah, I made her quite sweet and twee and whatnot. I mean, the images, I love the images in here. They have such wonderful pictures. I really like them. I think they're fabulous. I'm looking forward to colouring all these. This might actually be the first book I ever complete. As you can see, there's loads to go though. There's 2 of each in case you do muck up, because I've mucked up on one of them, so I've had to remove it. Because the girl I did quite well, but the background I did not like, and I couldn't live with it, so out came the little scalpely knife thing, and I have removed a page. But my colouring book, I can do what I want. Now I bought this Anime one, which is so cute. I mean, look at the pictures in here. There's 2 of each, but the facial expression does change on them. But yeah, it's very cute. I prefer the chibi girls more to the Anime girls. I don't quite know why. I think these are very cutie, and I think I like a little bit of horror or darkness about something, but I do think they're cute. I've only done one in here, and that's her. I was very unsure on what colour to do the background, so I have left that at the moment. But the rest of it, I think, came out alright. Hair came out alright. Yeah, so she's kind of sweet. And then the last book of today, if you're still with me, I received yesterday. I had to wait a week and a half for it from Amazon. What is Amazon playing at? Which is Tattooed Darlings by Hannah Lynn. And I have got one of Hannah Lynn's books. I've got the Mermaids and Fairies and Other Whimsical Girls. I've coloured a few of those in, but I coloured them like well over a year ago, so they're quite simple. I said I have come along a little bit. And I've just done one in this. I did this last night, which is the 80s girl. And I think she came out alright. I wasn't really happy that I did the whole sleeve. I should have put some skin in between. But she's got a whole sleeve. She's hard. She went and got a whole tattoo. Blimey. But I do like her hair. I think her hair came out alright. And her dress is fine, so yeah, no, it's alright for the first time. This paper is interesting. It looks like it's going to be really thin, but it's got almost like a film on it. And the markers love it. Oh, the markers think it's lovely. The chameleon markers hate it. So don't use your chameleon markers on here, because they go, yeah, they don't like it. They do not like it. They sort of bunch up. So no play. But your pro markers and your sharpies, and probably your Corollas if you're going to use them, will be absolutely fine on this paper. And just a little flip through, because I like it when people just do a little flip through. They don't have to do the whole book, you know. I just like an idea, because sometimes you don't want to see the whole book because you want a surprise when the book comes, but you want an idea of what you're getting. And if you do want a proper flip through, then there is loads of people who do proper flip throughs. Now, my little treat that I bought myself, I went to Morrison's. If you're in the UK, you'll know what Morrison's in. If you are not in the UK, I'm sorry about that, but you won't have a Morrison's. It's a supermarket. And I treated myself too. The baskets did not come with it. The baskets are extra. I've got all my gel pens and the Corolla Super Tips, which I just don't get on. The only way I use these is, you know, when you stamp in, and back to the Fauxbonichi people, you might like this. When you've got a stamp and you've got the plastic block, scribble across the plastic block with this, or anybody who junk journals. Add a little bit of water with your paintbrush, and you could do a couple of colours. Give it a good swirl. Stamp it on a white piece of paper. Beautiful, swirly, wonderful. Actually, for the colourists out there as well, really good background that would make. You'd have to let it dry, obviously, but it makes a really nice marble effect. But yeah, that's the only thing I've done with these so far. I've tried to colour with them, but I just don't like them. They're just streaky things. Yeah, so my beautiful stack for £8 at Morrison's in the back to school range. So if you want some, then you need to run quick, go get. And then holds. I've just got my Staedtler fine lines and the thicker ones, and some of my metallic pens in there. Got my chameleon pens in there, and then I've colour coordinated the Sharpies and the Pro markers. Shame they don't go in that way. They don't go that way. They only go that way, but you can get 2 layers of them in. So yeah, I've colour coordinated all the way up. And it's good because if you want to use them, you just take the drawer out, and then when you're colouring, pop it all back in the drawer, put it back up there, go in your cupboard. Done. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please like and subscribe, and comment below. And if you have found your way over here from a colouring type thing, leave me a little message. And if you're one of my Fauxbonichi friends, hi! I hope you liked it. And and Zoe, of course. Hey Zoe, love you. And I hope everyone's having a fantastic week. Take care, bye.